The Chicago Bulls have a Patrick Williams problem, and spoiler, Patrick Williams isn't the problem. Let's talk about it. Patrick Williams had one of his worst performances yesterday, and as people do, they went on Twitter and kind of overreacted, or what I feel, in my opinion, is overreacting. Seeing as Patrick Williams, these past probably like 5 or 6 games, he's really coming into form as a not really a 3 and D player, but he's being a little bit more efficient on the offensive end while still maintaining that defensive mindset. So yesterday, against the best team in the Western Conference, one of the top ranked teams defensively in the NBA, Patrick Williams shot 0 for 7 from the field and had like 1 assist and 2 rebounds on the game. And a lot of people got on Twitter and started talking about how much of a bust he is. I saw some posts saying like all the Patrick Williams apologists, is it time for you to now to say that, his performance has been underwhelming, or, he hasn't really grown like he should have grown in these past couple of years? And honestly, I'm a Patrick Williams apologist. I like his game. I like the defense that he brings to the team. He can knock down a shot, a corner three, a mid range when need be. Like, he's not going to do it on a consistent, like, he's not going to take 10 shots and nail 8 of them, but he'll make 2, 3 big shots in a game. But for me, I feel like what Patrick Williams does, it's fine. I'm totally okay with it. In the system that he is in, he has not looked to be a scorer. He has not looked to be a scoring threat. He is literally like the 5th scoring option on the team. I am not looking for Patrick Williams to go out there and have 15, 20 plus points. I'm looking for him to lock down on the defensive end and then knock down a timely 3 if needed. But I can honestly still say that his development he was a number 4 overall pick. His development as a number 4 overall pick has been kind of underwhelming, but not underwhelming in the sense of he's a bad player. Underwhelming in the sense of he is not in a system for him to flourish and become that 4th overall pick talent that I feel like he could be. And then for the people that are saying that it's just skill based, that he's just a bad player, I don't think they know much about how development works in the NBA. And I think mostly that's because they see these number 1 overall picks, number 2 overall picks. They see them get drafted to bad teams where they take a majority of the shots and they look like they're all-star, all-time players. And they are able to develop as the years go on because they're putting in that much work, not only in practice, but in real game situations. But with Patrick Williams, through the time he was drafted, mind you, it was only 3 years ago. He was only drafted 3 years ago. Through the 3 years he was drafted, I don't feel like Patrick Williams has ever been a top 3 scoring option on the Chicago Bulls. So let's take a look at the year he was drafted to the Chicago Bulls. It was 2020. He was the 4th overall pick. We had big hopes for him. Putting him into that lineup, I'm going to count all of the scoring options that were above Patrick Williams at the time. Kobe White, that's 1. Vucevic came about halfway through the season, so that's 2. Lauri Markkanen, that's 3. Zach LaVine, that's 4. And Wendell Carter Jr. I feel like he was more of a scoring option on that team at that time than Patrick Williams was. So Patrick Williams, his first year on the Chicago Bulls, he was outside of the top 5 scoring option. Let's look at the year after. Actually, first, we're going to look at his stats throughout the season. All right, so this is the 2021-2022 season. Obviously, this is after the trade for Nikola Vucevic, and also this is after the Bulls acquired DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball. Now, once again, let's take a look at we're just going to take a look at the starting lineup. So the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls that year: Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic. Now, be real with me. I want you to be real with me. Out of those 5 players, who do you think is the 5th scoring option on that team? Because a lot of issues that people have with Patrick Williams is his scoring ability. Please tell me, who would be the last scoring option in that starting lineup? It's not Lonzo Ball, not DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, or Vucevic. Patrick Williams was the 5th scoring option in the starting lineup for his 2nd season. And if you take a look at his stats, okay, I made a mistake. I was looking at his career averages for that first time. So 2020, he averaged 9 points, 4.6 rebounds, 1.4 assists, shooting 48% from the field and 39% from 3 his first year as the 6th scoring option. That's still pretty good. So we take a look at his 2nd season. With that dip, with the addition of Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan to the team. His shooting splits went up. He averaged zero point 0.2 points less, a couple of rebounds less, and about an assist less. Okay. So as you see right there, he's not improving or he's not getting any worse. Okay. And then we come to this season, he's in the same type of boat. And I feel like even now, he's not even looked at as a scoring option over Ayo Dosunmu. I feel like the Chicago Bulls will go to Ayo Dosunmu before they go to Patrick Williams for a bucket. So even right now, he's not a top 5 scoring option on the team. And even then, his stats are 9.2 points, 45 from field, 43 from 3, 4 rebounds, and an assist, and a steal and a block a game. So the whole thing I'm really trying to get at is Patrick Williams is, you're a product of your environment, to put it in that type of term. You're a product of your environment. If you're a player like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and you get drafted to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and you're automatically, when he was drafted, he was the second best player on the team behind Chris Paul. Automatically the second best player. You're going to take 10, 15 plus shots per. Patrick Williams barely gets up 5 shots per because he has to share the ball with ball dominant guards like DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine. You know what I mean? So in that sense, you're a product of your environment. People like John Morant, Memphis Grizzlies, one of the worst teams in the NBA, came on that team, was the number 1 scoring option. Trae Young, Atlanta Hawks, one of the worst teams in the East the year he was drafted, came on that team, first scoring option. Like, people are seeing like these top 5 picks being drafted to god awful teams in terrible organizations when the Bulls were kind of already established, a bit established when they got Patrick Williams. And a prime example of being a product of your environment, we can take a look at the Golden State Warriors. Throughout the years, picks for the Golden State Warriors, they really haven't been able to do much because they're not knockdown 3-point shooters. They have to play behind Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. You have people like Harrison Barnes, who they let go, and he's not. I wouldn't say he was a breakout talent, but he didn't fit that Golden State Warriors system. So now he's playing in Sacramento. You have people like Eric Paschall. I don't really know how to pronounce his last name, but he was on an all rookie team just a couple of years ago, and now he's out of the league because he didn't fit that Golden State Warriors system. And then even now you have players like James Wiseman and Jonathan Kuminga, who I think they just sent Wiseman down to the G League, and all of that is because they don't fit the system. If you think James Wiseman and Jonathan Kuminga are bad players, then you're terribly mistaken. It's all about the system that you are put in. Patrick Williams isn't put into a system where he needs to score the ball almost every possession. He's not in a system where he needs to dribble tween behind the back, get to the lane, and score. We have DeMar DeRozan for that. We have our spot-up shooter in Zach LaVine and then Lonzo Ball when he gets back. Patrick Williams isn't on the floor for that. And I just feel like people kind of misinterpret what his talent should be solely because he was the number 4 overall pick. I don't feel like the Bulls had the intention to go out there and get DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball. So maybe they did expect Patrick Williams to be that 3-and-D guy to score 20 points per game while maintaining a high level of defense. But when you start adding different pieces and it keeps knocking him down the totem pole, your expectations for him also has to lower. Like, you can't have him at this 20 points per game because he's the 4th overall pick, but also have him playing with ball dominant guards. Also not having him get even 10 shots up per game. And I just feel like Patrick Williams, he gets a lot of hate that he really doesn't deserve. I don't think Patrick Williams deserves the hate that he gets, but he's going to get it because he's a number 4 overall pick. And that's really unfair to him because the system that he's in, they don't put him in that position to be that scorer. And I can say that time and time again because it's not like people are. I say it time and time again because that's the only reason people are kind of hitting on him, because he's not a great scorer when he's not been put in a position to be a great scorer. I feel like last year, if I'm not mistaken, let me go to it. Yeah, last year in the 82nd game, when he was on the court, Zach LaVine was playing DeMar. Like, they basically had their bench warmers out there playing. He had 35 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 75% from the 3-point that game. It's like when you're in the position to score, when he's in the position to score, he's going to score, right? He was in the position to score that game, so he went out there and he did his thing. As probably he was the number one scoring option in that game. So it's not like Patrick Williams sucks. And I just want to keep saying that to drive it into you guys' head. Patrick Williams does not suck. He is a product of his environment. In his environment, he is the sixth scoring option. He is primarily out there for defense, and he is primarily out there to knock down a timely three. And if you just look at the game that way, if you look at the game like, okay, this is how he's supposed to be played, and you sit there and you actually watch a game of Chicago Bulls basketball, you're going to be like, wow, he does what he needs to do. He's going to fight for those offensive rebounds when he needs to. He's going to guard the opposing team's best defender night in and night out. He's going to knock down that corner three when he's wide open. So if you just sit there and you evaluate the game, how it's supposed to be evaluated, you will see that Patrick Williams, as a 4th overall pick, yes, he's a bit underwhelming. But as a player who is playing his role on the team perfectly, that is what he's doing. But hey, I'm just talking basketball. I'm talking about my favorite team. Not my favorite player. Patrick Williams is far from my favorite player, but I'm just talking about my favorite team. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. See you in the next video. Wait. I almost fucked up the outro. Let me know your opinions down below in the comment section. If you like the video, subscribe and share, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Peace out.